Alright, I'm going to go through a couple stocks I like to the upside. First things first, I just wanted to put a fib on the prior range to earnings. We can see the rejection here at the 161.8 of that previous range. We can put a fib from the low to the high. We'll change the color set here. We can see the 23.6 is now a supporting price. Scaling in here into earnings, it's is that 13 days? Alright, so this is the earnings gap up. That phone never stops. Fantasy football. Alright. And a fib set there. Alright, so this is Google since earnings. Let me take my alert off. We can see the volume build out here. It really drops off here at the 23.6. You can't see anything because it's not in relation to the size of these spikes since we zoomed in. So for this purpose, there is no volume there, except for this. So if we do break over this volume in this 23.6 at 666.13, we would be looking for a break up into the 675 range to test the 38.2. We got a little bit of, yeah, right about, still, it's right about the same as the 23.6. Into 675.15 and then up into 682.44. This move doesn't even seem like it's out of the realm of possibilities. We can see really it's more or less a ascending triangle with the lows in the 650s and the highs in the 665s. That's about $15 of range. At 75%, it's about an $11 break. So from 666, yeah. So the ascending really does target the 675 as well. So that would definitely be the more short-term play. I would expect to see some sort of resistance around that price, just because it is a fib. But if the market's strong, we might see a push up and through that within a day or two. Maybe just a stall and then up into the 682 area. Playing anything higher than that, you're really getting risky. But you could, I guess. That's just quite a bit of room, just depending on the amount of time you're willing to put into it. Again, we didn't spend much time following through this price. The given rule is half of the amount in a quarter of the time. So if we wanted to do a little math, the fall was $62. Half the price be 31. And so 31 from the low is 682 in half the time. So 722 to 727 is 5 days. Quarter of 5 is really only about a day and a quarter. So a break here, and in a day and a quarter we're looking at target somewhere into the 680s. If you follow the rule of thumb of half the price in a quarter of the time. It doesn't seem out of the realm of possibilities, especially for Google. If we see the market break higher, I think we could probably also see Google break higher. Alright, GILD is the second one that I'm looking at. For the purpose of me getting to bed at some sort of reasonable hour, I might do this a little quicker. So I'm going to draw my first set of Fibonacci's and my second set, which is the current set. You can see here that GILD is sitting well above volume. There's a staggering of volume spikes going up, but really nothing substantial. The major volume does sit down in the 104 area to the 109 to 110 area. Getting a little bit closer, we can see that the volume even here on the 6 month is staggered to the top at best, with very little being above this 119 to 120 range. Support has been found at the short-term 61.8 and is testing the 78.6. A break over the 78.6 would most likely test into the all-time high, barring some sort of event. On the upside of 123, the all-time high, you could look at these prices into the 129 quarter area all the way up into the 132.87, depending on the strength of the market and the push behind the market. Downside, you would want to use 117.5, where this volume really starts to taper off as a pretty hard stop. And then again, upside, we can see that GILD has been outperforming the market, where we see the head and shoulders inverse in the market. We see that GILD has just pushed higher into price. So if we see the market rotate higher, we would think that we would also see GILD rotate higher. And the last one I'm watching is GoPro. Pretty young chart, but I'm just going to draw a lifetime fib, and we can see that it's sitting right under the lifetime 50 at 63.56. No real volume to speak of. It's all staggered. The higher we get, so the higher we get, the easier it should get to move through that price and volume. A break here at the 63.56. Let's draw a fib here first and edit the color. Alright, on the shorter term fib, we can see we're also being supported by the shorter term 38.2 here at 60.45. So a push up through the 63.56 area would put a next target into this volume, as well as the short term 50 fib at 67.66. Then again, the next fib level would be your next target at 71.8. The volume tapers substantially through these prices. So one would think that the move higher, if the market gets behind it, could probably start moving pretty quick through volume. We'd want to look at the 75 area of this one as a target to maybe get out of most of the position, but with continued good earnings, there's no reason that we can't see GoPro push into the all-time highs, if not more. This is still a very young stock, and it might be one that wouldn't be a bad idea of getting behind for a longer term move into maybe an IRA or 401k.